Hi, I decided to make a video today about the two types of codependence that I have seen in my own experience. Myself falling in the type of codependent that is often called the scapegoat. The other type of codependent is the golden child, which is more likely to become a flying monkey. A flying monkey is a term used in narcissistic vocabulary to refer to a third person that is used by the narcissist to manipulate the situation and play the victim card to this third person. The reason for doing so is because they want to isolate the victim in their truth and to paint out the picture to be that the victim is the bad person and they are the victim. This is very common in manipulative people. But what I want to stress the most is these two types of codependence and how they're going to affect you if you are the scapegoated codependent. So if you are the scapegoated codependent, you will experience at some point in your journey that there are two types of people in your life: the narcissists that you start to become aware and awakened about in your life, and the flying monkeys that are usually also codependents but of a different nature than you are. They are the codependent that I call the golden child. The golden child codependent is the codependent that has taken very strongly upon them the role of conforming to the family values because they could do so. They were able to conform to the family values because they were accepted when doing everything in their power to rationalize the narcissistic behavior that was happening. And though this may have served them in their own journey, they do not have the degree of empathy that the scapegoated codependent tends to have. The scapegoated codependent tends to have a lot of a more deeper kind of empathy, where they are people that before their healing has been concluded, they usually are very easily made to feel a certain way by other people, because even if it is false emotions they are made to feel, they will have empathy even for that, even for the abuser. And while the golden child seems to always be the one that is there to police the scapegoat codependent whenever we try to speak our truth and say, look, this is really what I am realizing. The golden child codependent is doing it out of their willingness to have the tension of the narcissist and maintain this toxic betrayal bond that they essentially have to them. But the codependent scapegoat is codependent because they take on all this false guilt they are made to feel when the narcissist says, You are at fault for ruining everything in the family. You are a total spoiled person. You are terrible. You are always blamed for every single thing, and you can essentially never satisfy the narcissist. Never. You are always going to be in the cycle of abuse if you are in relationship with a narcissist. And so when you start to awaken and start to speak your truth, you will start to realize these two sides of the spectrum who are not there to support you from coming forth and from what is good for you and for healing. The golden child may in the beginning say something like, "Oh, this is terrible, I'm so sorry to hear this," or "I can never believe this is true." And then 2 seconds later, they will act like you never told them this. Next time they see you, they will ask you, "How is this person you told me about?" Because it just doesn't it doesn't stay in their brain. They only keep and hold the parts they want to hold on to. So you are going to need to start to realize that the people that are used by the narcissist to manipulate your truth are not really there for you either. And they are, to your experience, just as toxic as the narcissist is, because they are like little puppets that do whatever the narcissist tells them to do and believes whatever the narcissist paints this victim story about themselves to be, isolating you further by being the person who is at fault for every single thing. The golden child codependent isn't very good with standing out with their own opinions, because the way that they have coped and they have survived with their own trauma is that they just uphold the behaviors, the values, and the accepted types of things that the narcissist goes by. And the worst part of this for me is when the flying monkey has successfully been manipulated entirely by the narcissist to make you seem like someone who is irrational and crazy, either literally crazy, like the things you are saying are out of context, what you're saying is like mean because they are the ones that are always there for you, and that's how dare you say this about them, or by making you seem like you are over emotional, out of context, like they will start talking to you the way that you have learned is appropriate to talk to the narcissist, to handle the insanity of what they keep creating with their manipulative behavior. So when you start to say your truth and see these golden child codependents slash flying monkeys in your life talking to you like you're an unstable, irrational person that isn't in touch with reality and is overwhelmed with emotions for no apparent reason, you will know that they have been manipulated and they are a flying monkey. They are a golden child codependent that prefers to stay stuck in their false reality of events and of truth than by standing for real truth and defending you. They prefer to stay attached to everything that is comfortable to them, to maintain this toxic relationship they have to the narcissist because they think it's absolutely right and fair, and they actually think that they are emotionally sound, compassionate, forgiving, loving people just because they have more empathy for an abuser than for a victim, and essentially have no grasp of reality and what is really happening and going on, not just in their relationships and in their lives, but in yours too. So, a last example of this is you disclose to them some form of abuse, you disclose to them your experience of how the narcissist is manipulating what is really happening, and they don't even get into it. They give you a response like, oh, well, I'm so sorry you feel this way, but really, the thing you're saying is not really as you're saying it, and I have nothing else that I can say, but I hope that you understand. So when they start talking to you like you're literally insane, when you are the only sane one in here, trying to heal, trying to do therapy, going to the therapist, believing in therapy, working on yourself, doing all the work, and yet they are typically the person that is opposed to therapy, feel they don't need to learn anything from a therapist because they want to hold on to this toxicity in their life. They always say, oh, maybe I'll go another day, but I don't really think that I need a therapist. You will know these people are not simply codependents like you, but codependents that put their value of attention by the narcissist and conforming to the narcissist's wants as more important than truth. And they will literally manipulate in their minds what truth is because they don't care. They don't want to get into it. They just want to stay where they are, and they want the narcissistic approval. So, what you have to do is individualize yourself as soon as possible from these people. You need to get away. They can't be there for you. And the craziest thing of all is that as a codependent, you have probably learned, and as a scapegoated codependent, to be so detached from your feelings that now that you have started to speak truth and to be in touch with your healing and yourself and everything that has happened and is necessary in order to heal, to be realized, now that you are for the first time in touch with your feelings, you are being painted out to be insane, overly emotional. You are painted out to be the borderline person who is out of reach of reality and overly emotional for no reason, over angry for no reason, illogical, and that they have to baby talk you because clearly you're the one who is misbehaving, doesn't have enough compassion, doesn't have enough maturity, when it is so far from what is happening. So please stay true to yourselves, stay true to your truth. This is very important for your thyroid health. I know that a lot of codependents on either side of the types we talked about, but especially the scapegoated codependents, tend to have thyroid issues. The thyroid is located at the area of the throat and the neck, and it has to do with expression. And it's an autoimmune disorder, so when we do not express ourselves and our truth and have to conform, or if we have started to speak our truth but are not supported in our truth, and therefore have to constantly always be in this defense mode, and therefore we cannot stand true with the depth of our emotions and be held in our truth. Our thyroid, our expression is suffering. And if you do not find an exit plan and a way to take care of yourself, create boundaries, and find people that can support you wherever you are right now on this journey and awakening, you will suffer. You will suffer emotionally, you will suffer physically. You need people to support your truth. This is what you deserve, and you need to make this happen. Thank you for watching.